Today we are going to make a pop filter using 3D printing. What's a pop filter, you ask? A pop filter limits pops in the recording. These specific pops are called plosives and are caused by a sudden burst of air. To stop this from happening, the filter redirects the air around the microphone. Before we get started, I do need to say something. This video is made to explain the process so that you can build your own pop filter to fit your specific microphone, and as such is not a step-by-step tutorial. With that out of the way, let's begin. I started this project by modeling the back piece of the filter. This piece works as a clamp to keep the filter securely connected to the microphone. The only dimension here that you really need to worry about is the center diameter of this bracket. This measurement should be the same as the diameter of the microphone that you are using. Also, the bolt holes should be slightly larger than the bolts that you are using. With component 1 finished, let's move on to component 2. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this, mirror it over, and archive that for later. And then, well, you can see I already have a piece here that I made earlier. We're going to go ahead and extrude this. Make sure that there's a bit of space in between this and then the microphone. Also make sure that the piece we made first can connect to the base. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and build some pillars on either side to support it. And once we do that, simply going to go ahead and grab the base and mirror that over to the top. And then simply union everything together there, make sure it's one solid piece. I'm going to go ahead and put this line here so that we can locate where we want the hole. That's going to connect the next two pieces we're building. So I did opt for a slot rather than a hole here, simply so we can adjust how it sits. And we're going to make 2 more circles, connect them, and then simply clear out everything inside until we get around the shape we're going for. Once we reach that, we're going to go ahead and region that and extrude it. Move that over until it's in the place we want. Simply move this back a bit and then archive that for later use. Now we're going to subtract this piece from the current one, move the piece that we archived earlier and place it at the base, union everything together, and there we go. That's component 2 done. Okay, so this is really very similar to the last piece. The only thing here is, while this is the same thickness, it's just big enough to fit around the outside of the previous component. So build one pillar, mirror it over to the other side, and mirror the base to the top. Union it so everything's one solid piece. We don't have to worry about anything there. And then instead of building the holes, we're just going to need to figure out the location and then take that piece that we archived earlier and figure out where we want to go specifically, move it into place, and then all we just need to do is subtract it. And with that taken care of, we should now be done. And there we go. That's how everything was modeled. But now that we have that taken care of, let's go ahead and print these. Speaking of which, the printer we are using today is the Form 2 by Formlabs. There are 3 modules that this printer uses. First is the actual printer. Then we have the washer, which cleans off the individual parts after they are printed. And finally we have the Form Cure, or curer thingamajiggy, or whatever you want to call it. This module uses UV light to cure the resin so that it doesn't deform when used. However, there is one main drawback to this printer. As you can see here, there is a lot of spore material, and it is not really conducive to being easily removed. But finally, I was able to clear it all away. So, with that taken care of, let's assemble the filter. Start by taking our filter material and stretching it over our frame piece. Today I'm using a piece of window screen as the filter material. Next, let's go ahead and take our frame cover and place it over the top of our frame and filter. Take time to line up the holes correctly, then use 2 bolts to secure everything in place. Then we're going to go ahead and place the current assembly over our microphone. Make sure to line it up so that the last part lines up with the bolt holes on the current assembly. After that's done, put some bolts through, secure everything in place, and we're done. And that concludes this project. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you're curious about how effective the plosive reduction is, well, this entire video has been recorded using the filter. So, thanks for watching. I'm Omega, and I will see you next time.